Okay, YouTube, so I finished coding out SmartGPT, and I didn't stream some of the stuff I was coding this morning, but it is finished, and it works. And I believe it works to the level that is explained in AI, to the level that AI explained, Philip explains it too. And so I was finally able to get it to output correctly. Drying 30 clothes would take somewhere around 5 hours, maybe a little more depending on arrangement, but not as high as 30 hours. So that's the correct answer. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, the question here is, I left 5 clothes to dry out in the sun. It took them 5 hours to dry completely. How long would it take to dry 30 clothes? So if you just think about this logically, all the clothes dry at the same rate, so it doesn't matter how many clothes you have left out to dry, it should still just take 5 hours. And so that's what we have here. It takes around 5 hours to do this. And yeah, so that is pretty cool. It is done and coded. I guess I don't know if I'll make a video on it. But I have it up in a GitHub repository, and one thing that I found out with this is that it's not always consistently giving out the correct answer. So this gave me the correct answer here, though it may not give me the correct answer on another run through. So I have a little smart calculator here that calculates how much money I'm spending, so I'm not going too crazy. And another thing that I implemented was, this is what I thought was the coolest, was I used different versions of GPT throughout this process. So for the generation side of it, the reason I'm doing this is because it costs way less to use GPT 3.5. As you can see here, it's 0.002, so 1/5 of a penny, whereas GPT-4 is 6 pennies or 6 cents to use per 1,000 tokens. So it's a factor below. I forget what it is. It's way cheaper to use GPT 3.5. So for the initial outputs, I have it using GPT 3.5. So it creates the faulty outputs. Here I can go ahead and show you what I have here. So these are some of the faulty answers highlighted here. So it uses 3.5 to do that. The researcher uses 3.5 to investigate what the flaws are. I think it's still good enough to do that. Of course, we could probably bump this up to GPT-4 if we want, but I think the most important one to use, the most important role or the most important agent in this SmartGPT, I guess, Python script is to use the resolver, which decides which answer is the least faulty and decides what the improved answer should be. So using the improved abilities of GPT-4, that is where I think it shines and uses GPT-4 here. And then lastly, I have a final output where it basically just uses it. I feed it what the response of the resolver was and output the final output. Or allow another GPT agent to pick out what the final output is, because I'm not actually sure what happened here. It looks like it got cut off. Wait, hold on. Oh, here we go. Is this it? Yeah. Somewhere it got cut off here. I'm not sure why, but it basically just takes all of the answer from the resolver and picks out which one is the answer. In this case, answer 4 option here was the answer, and it spit out this one. And the reason I did this was because the resolver actually spits out a bunch of other stuff in there. It does like step 1, step 2, step 3. Yeah, does a step 1, 2, 3. Hold on. Actually, I don't know why I deleted these. Okay. Does step 1, step 2, step 3, and then it prints out the answer in full, which I don't want. And I was trying to do a regular expression filter, a regex filter to filter out what the answer was, but I was having troubles with it, and just decided, okay, well, I'll just have ChatGPT 3.5 choose what the final answer is, and it's doing just fine for that. So to summarize kind of what I've said is I'm using different versions of GPT, of the GPT models to run through this SmartGPT process. And well, I guess I'll just go ahead and run through it. So let me go ahead and clear this. What I do want to add to it is an option to save, so that's what I'm going to add to it after I run through it here. But let's just go ahead and run through to see how it runs. Da-dun, da-dun. Okay. So here you can see it's going to output. This is the first output. 30 hours to dry, 30 close, which is wrong. So we'll see if it actually comes to the correct conclusion on this one, which I hope it does. 30 hours to 30 close. The answer is 30 hours. All right. So now it's going on over into the researcher. As you can see here, this is kind of my marker for the command line, for the terminal. Alrighty, and so here we have the flaws and logics of it. So this is where it's listing all the flaws, all the logic flaws and faults. And then now it's in the resolver option, which is using GPT-4, the more powerful yet more expensive model. So that's the only difficulty. And this is kind of related to like how AutoGPT functions, using GPT-4 as the brains of the bot or the assistant, and then using cheaper agents like 3.5 to do the grunt work, so to speak. Okay, so I believe this is going to be a faulty. This won't resolve to the correct answer. Based on the researcher's breakdown, all three options suffer from the same flaws. Okay, to improve, we can acknowledge real-world factors. It's not accurate to assume linear. Keeping these factors in mind, we can expect on the initial 5 hours it took to dry 5. However, without So yeah, let me see. Doesn't actually give me an answer, so this is a non-answer. It isn't possible to predict. Yeah, so it gave me a non-answer for this, and I spent a total of 7 pennies. Why is it doing that? Oh, here, let me remove this. Okay, so it gave me it cost me 7 cents to run this, and it gave me the incorrect answer. So we'll go ahead and run this again. I'm gonna go ahead and take out these breakpoints so that it won't ask me to continue, and we'll go ahead and run this a couple of times and see. But in the meantime, I guess I should say that I have this on GitHub, and so I guess that's what I'll do now. Is let me just go ahead and do a new terminal. Still running it. Yeah, still running it here. All right. So I guess I should update the GitHub repository. So git status, git add, git commit, update SmartGPT to use multiple models, and incorporated a dollar cost usage to keep track of total of the amount of money spent. All right, git push and git pull, git push. Okay. All right, clear terminal. So yeah, let me go ahead and open up a Microsoft Edge browser. And let's go ahead and navigate over into the repository. You guys can't see it yet, I think. Alright, here we go. So yeah, we've got the Microsoft Edge browser here. And yeah, here we have SmartGPT. So just updated the repository for SmartGPT. So implementation of SmartGPT as proposed by AI explained here. To run it, all you have to do is git clone of it, navigate into the repository, and then set up the needed libraries, pip install requirements.txt, and then you want to set up your OpenAPI YAML. I actually have to edit this real quick. You will have to change the name to keys.yaml in order for this to work as well. You're gonna need to, okay. Okay. Alright, commit changes. Okay, so clone it, install the pip, and then set up the API keys, and you should be good to go for running SmartGPT. Yeah, so let's go ahead and close out of this. It should be done and running inside of the script here. So the improved estimation is still incorrect. So yeah, 1 hour, 30 close, 30 hours. So this one cost me 10 cents, so that sucks. So as you can see, in the beginning of the video, the beginning of the stream, it gave me the correct answer. And maybe I had to just, and what I did was I didn't have these, parentheses in here. So let me take away these parentheses and see if that was the causing factor. But I modified one of the prompts from Philip AI Explained to say the previous responses are from the researcher, because it wasn't working when I just had the "you are the resolver" thing here. So let's go ahead and run that again and see what we get. And so yeah, if you're not familiar with how the GPT generations work, you basically just feed it a list of dictionaries of what happened previously in the conversation. So that is kind of what's happening here. Got the user role set here, and then the content of the prompt, which is this, and it's feeding in messages from this one here, from the researcher. So as you can see, the messages, the list here has all of these different responses, and so it needs to load all of that in here to feed it into the GPT completion, the OpenAI chat completion. Another cool thing that I saw was released was GPT-4 32K. Now that's crazy. That's a huge context window for these models. 32,000 tokens. 32,000 tokens is probably close to around 26 to 27,000 words, which is like 100 pages of stuff, which is crazy. That would make your bank hurt, because it also costs 12 cents per 1,000 tokens. Okay, so let's see what the answer is. To calculate improved drying time for 30 pieces of clothes. Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. It's it's not giving me the correct. It's still not giving me the correct answer here. So I guess I'll do one more modification. Maybe I'll change the temperature, because that's one thing that I noticed that Philip had changed, was that he set a temperature inside of his model. Shoot, I don't know if we have to. Let me check real quick. Yeah, I don't know if it has to be a string or a integer, or if it takes integer values for the Open API. Okay, it'll take an integer, so that's perfect. We'll go ahead and change this up. Temperature, copy. Let's see. And honestly, I probably should have just made another function that does the, I should have just made another function that does the completion, but you know, that's okay. Just have to do it 4 times, nothing too crazy. And they're all the same temperature. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's go ahead, save that and rerun that. So I put a temperature of 0.5, put it in the middle. I actually think GPT 4 comes with a default temperature of 0.7, as that's what it is in the OpenAI playground. But that is one thing that might affect, you know, what answers you're getting, because it affects the I think of temperature as like the randomness of the answers, how creative it is. So that is what the temperature is doing here. So we have it kind of set in the middle with 0.5. Yeah, and the reason I think it comes as 0.7 is, here it is. In the playground, it's 0.7 for the temperature. So that's what we have here. And yeah. Alrighty, let's go ahead and exit out of this. I feel like I should ask it some other questions. Oh shoot, I just uploaded the GitHub repo with the question embedded into it. That's okay. Okay, improved answer. If it took 5 hours to do the close, it's 30 hours for the close. It's okay. So it's still giving me 30 hours, which is not right. Verify that it was in fact that, and yeah. So I am unsure if because I was able to get a correct answer, but I did have to I had to run it multiple times, and I'm sure that is not what is intended here. I'm pretty sure it should be as close to zero shot as possible. So I don't know if there is an implementation side of things that's going on here, or if what Philip shared were the best answers. But maybe I should move on to a different question and not be so stuck up on the question that was in the video. Okay, maybe this makes a difference. 3, which I don't think it should. It really shouldn't make any difference. Okay, so let's go ahead and ask it a different question. This one is still going to be one that was in the video so that we can kind of have a baseline, but let's go ahead and comment that out, comment this back in, and let's go back to YouTube. Oops. YouTube, open AI explained. Alright, here we go. Here's the video.
Developing a model web.
Alright, let me make this smaller. Okay. So here is the other one. What's up, Joshua? Thank you for tuning in. You caught me live. I'll actually be going unlive in like 6 minutes though, so caught me on the edge. But here is the question that we're asking here. Okay. I have a 12-liter jug and a 6-liter jug. Here's the question here. I have a 12-liter jug and a 6-liter jug. I want to measure 6 liters. How do I do it? Alright, so we're going to go ahead and send this question on over to the SmartGPT and see how it handles this question. So this was the other question inside of the video where it gave a bogus answer, and yeah. Joshua, the next time I'll be going live is, I'm not sure. I have been going live sporadically. But you could probably bet on Friday, because that's usually when I have more time. Sometimes I just go live when I'm working on stuff, or yeah, I'll probably just go live when I'm working on stuff, just so that people can kind of see how it's going and whatnot. It also doubles down as content creation, so that's a plus for me too. Alrighty, fill the jug. Pour the water from the okay, we ran out of. So OpenAI is getting too many requests right now. OpenAI actually went down a little bit earlier today, so that was one sucky thing. Let me go ahead and copy this and paste this back in and rerun it. But fill the 12-liter jug. Stuff. No, yeah, definitely. You never. At least for me right now, I'm just like, I don't really have a set schedule for stuff. So what I do kind of have is a pipeline of things I want to work on. So that is where I fall. So a pipeline of things I want to work on, so just streaming it kind of just makes a little bit of sense. It allows for content to be created without me having to spend like hours editing videos, because that's usually what happens. It takes like an hour 30 to record it, takes like another hour 30 to edit it, and then another hour 30 afterwards. Random stuff here and there. Sweet. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Fill the 12-liter jug completely with water. Pour the water from the 12 until this leaves 6 liters in the 12-liter jug. Pour out the water. Pour the 6-liter water into the empty 6. Pour the 6 liters of water from the 12-liter jug into the empty 6-liter jug. And now you have 6 liters of water in the jug. That's funny. That's stupid. Alright, what is the improved answer? Fill the 12-liter jug completely with water. Pour the water from the 12-liter jug into the 6-liter jug until the 6 liters completely full. Remaining water in the 12-liter jug is now exactly 6 liters. I do think that is an improved answer. Yeah, that is the improved answer that Philip got, so I'm happy with that. Awesome. Thank you very much, Joshua. I'm glad that you were inspired by Vivi And I think a lot of people have been using Vivi, which makes me pretty happy. I have like 55 stars on GitHub, which I never imagined would be possible. And I really want to work on additional things with Vivi as well. So more tutorials and more showcasing of Vivi to be released in the future. I have been looking at ways to implement memory into Vivi, which I think will be pretty awesome. And then as well, I have another streamer left a comment on my YouTube video to ask if I can have and incorporate a version of Vivi that will interject itself into the conversation based on you know, if it thinks it's talking to you, or based on if it thinks the streamer is talking to them or not. And I played around with it, did a proof of concept, and I think I can implement it, so I'm pretty excited to be doing that. Appreciate it. I have not worked with LangChain for memory or for any tools. Specifically, my reason for not working with LangChain yet, I will be in the future to use some of the tools, is I just want to learn a lot of the stuff, a lot of the core concepts of the stuff first, to see how I can implement it and how I can design it locally. And what I would like to do is just try to be able to design as many things locally as possible for it. So I would like to do local memory for Vivi, because then I'll actually really understand how the memory structures work, and how I can do all of the different retrieval and stuff like that. So that's my personal reason for not using LangChain and Pinecone and stuff like that. No, yeah, definitely. Well, I don't even think I would need to use any semantic. I don't even think I would need to use any semantic search or vector databases. Simply, all I need is what I would need is just some type of chat agent operating in the background that acts as kind of the filter for what the user is talking about, what the streamer is talking about. And so I've played around with prompts on GPT, on the ChatGPT website, that allows you to actually just that knows when you're talking to it or whatnot. So if it kind of works this way. So you're talking to the microphone and it's sending audio samples over to the agent to be sampled from. And let's just say you say, "Hey Vivi," or you're talking to the. If you're talking to your audience, you obviously don't want to respond. But if you say like, "Hey Vivi," or if you mention Vivi, it will be like, "Oh, I'm being talked to. Vivi has been mentioned in this audio stream," and it'll respond. The filter will pass it through, and then the bot will come online. I'll have to look into the oh yeah. So that's how that will work, and the whole memory side of it for the topic is going to be implemented eventually in a way to where, not for streamers, but for just the general audience, like if you're talking to it, you should be able to allow it to remember you so that it can, I guess that would mimic, yeah, kind of mimic, talking to another being, another person or whatnot, because it'll actually have memories of you. And I guess that's when people start thinking it gets a little spooky and whatnot. Starts to know you more than you know yourself. But let me go ahead and run this one more time and see how this comes out. And I will be going after this last run. I just wanted to show off in the stream that I had finished SmartGPT and that it's up on GitHub for people to go check it out. And yeah, so yeah, I guess my recall of knowledge graphs is it just kind of groups everything and has different links between the nodes. And so it could link to different conversations where it would recognize what was previously said and whatnot. So yeah, no, that is all pretty good stuff. One guy that I've been following is his name is David Shapiro, and he does stuff on YouTube as well. He seems to have some pretty cool stuff with memory, and the key one I think is what I was looking at is what's called Remo, which is rolling episodic memory organizer. So Remo is kind of nice, and I was going to try to implement that into Vivi, but I have yet to do it because I was on vacation last week, so just kind of thinking about it. I'm not in his Discord, but I do follow him on YouTube. I think to be in the Discord, you currently now have to be a Patreon subscriber, and I am not a Patreon subscriber, unfortunately. But I do follow his YouTube, which is nice because he's got a lot of good stuff on there. Okay, so let's check out what this answer is. Fill the 12-liter jar. Ensuring that 12, make sure that it's completely empty. Pour the water from the 12-liter into the 6-liter full. Using a steady pouring technique. Now have 6 liters of water in the 6-liter jug. Pour out the water, 6-liter jug. Pour the 6-liter jug from the... Well, yeah, this is another convoluted way to get 6 liters. How to get 6 liters. Yeah, I think the correct answer would be just fill the 6-liter jug with water to measure 6 liters. Yeah, you are a lucky one, Joshua. I'm actually not in too many Discords. I kind of explained this to one of my Discord members, that I tend not to want to join Discord because there's too much chatting going on. You start getting into too much chat and you lose time. So there are a lot of things that I'm working on and want to focus on. So that is one way of me keeping or staying out of it. I do have my own Discord as well, so that is where I'm at. If people need to reach me, or if you want to reach me, you can always just hit me up on Discord, and that's usually the easiest way. Alright, so that was a very convoluted answer, but I do think this is SmartGPT as Philip intended it to. If it's not, it would be awesome if he reaches out to me. I'm just kidding. But let me go ahead and add this or update this into the GitHub repository, and I'll be done for the stream today. Small changes. Okay, git push and git push. Alright, CLS, and we're done with that. The Discord link is shoot, I actually don't have a Discord link for it in the description of the streams, but I do have a Discord. Invite people. I wonder if this works. There we go. There's a Discord link. That'll be live for 7 days. Yeah, I will be out of here. Well, let me first check my GitHub to make sure that it is properly sorted or properly uploaded on GitHub before I end today's stream. Oh wow, it's so huge. Alright, let's go ahead and refresh this. View code. Yeah, so this should be working. I will make a video on this, I guess, sometime in the future. But yeah, it's 1:48 already. I gotta go eat some food and whatnot. So I'll catch you guys later on the stream. Thanks for tuning in, Joshua. I'll catch you around, and yeah, feel free to turn on the bell to catch me next time.